Hey guys, it's me Chan Dragon, and today I will talk about the new artifact that they already announced for 4.0. So they have two, the Golden Troupe and the one that's very hard to pronounce, whatever Hunter. So basically these artifacts, it's pretty good for some our existing character that we already have. That we can arguably say some of them even better. Some of them can be like the substitute or kind of temporary artifacts that you can use. So yeah, if you kind of wonder, let's check out together. So let's start first with the first artifact set that we will talk, which is, oh my god, I don't know if it's correct, but I think it's wrong. It's Marechaussee Hunter. I don't know. I think it's wrong pronunciation. But yeah, I will start first with the one that can equip with a 4-piece, and the one that come in mind, which is Xiao. I know some of you will say, but hey, the 2-piece basically uses for Xiao because normal charge attack Xiao almost never use it. Yes, I agree. But the 4-piece, Xiao can use it because just read again. The 4-piece is when the current HP increase or decrease, crit rate will increase by 12% for 5 seconds, and max is 3 stacks. So that means the max is 36%, which is pretty good though because Xiao Elemental Burst is eventually will decrease, and you usually pair with Bennett and it will get healed. So it's like often like increase or decrease, right? So yeah, basically Xiao can utilize this, and the benefit from these artifact sets that you can just completely ignore critical rate. Let's say you equip like Primordial Jade and you already have 20%, right? And then you can get another 36, already almost like 30, almost 60%. So you can almost completely ignore critical rate and just going like for, let's say, critical damage, attack percentage, and energy recharge though, so that you have like less kind of like demand on critical rate, which is it's quite convenient though. But in the end, if you ask, is it better like, let's say, like Vermilion or 2-piece to piece like NMO and attack piece like this? I would just say probably they're not so much different. It's more only alternative for Xiao, but it also work though. So probably the best scenario this set can become very good for Xiao is, let's say you want to farm this domain with maybe another future fountain character, or you want to kind of farming like certain artifact for your specific other character also, and then you get a very good this hunter piece that's stacked in critical damage and attack percentage, then yeah, you may can equip to your Xiao and it can be even maybe better than your currently like artifacts like me that is so bad. So yeah, I think this set can be a good alternative for Xiao though. And the next one is Ayato. Okay, I know this is a little bit weird. For some of you think this is Ayato, but not only normal Ayato. It's only Ayato in bloom condition, which mean like, hey, the 2-piece is normal charge attack. Ayato will utilize in normal attack, right? And 4-piece, it can be useful in bloom. Why? Just because we know in bloom, like we eventually like will decrease our HP, right? Just because this it. So you can actually trigger this one in Ayato though. So it can make Ayato personal damage become higher and also can trigger bloom in the same time. So yeah, I think in some funny moment of bloom Ayato, this effect can be utilized. If it's getting better or not, it's probably yes for Ayato personal damage, but of course this one didn't really affect on bloom damage itself though. So I think this is also another good alternative sets for Ayato that you can utilize, but only for bloom though. So if you want kind of try a funny kind of, how to say, artifact sets that actually work, yeah, this is 4-piece hunter can work for Ayato in bloom. And lastly, if some people ask, how about this one, a hunter piece for Hutao? Just because 2-piece for normal and charge attack will work for Hutao, and Hutao also decrease HP, right? I mean, we'll get advantage. I also say, yeah, you're kind of right, but actually I'm toward to not using this piece at all. Just because if you pay attention again, Hutao mechanism work. Once you press skill, it only decrease 1, and that's it though. While this set, they want to like for like kind of very active increase or decrease HP, which if usually in Hutao team you use shielder, once it decreases, that's it. And then if you want to heal again, you use your burst. And Hutao really want like HP below like 50, so we only want to use the burst if we're already kind of on the edge, right? So it's pretty hard for you to utilize these sets using the usual team, like using Zhongli or something like that. You cannot use this. In order for you to use this, I agree have to say you need to use this without Shielder, and even you have maybe kind of Bennett or something like that. So you have to try different playstyle, which is, I would believe it will be very scuff, very uncomfortable. But if you really really want to force, then yeah, it's up to you. But I would say I really don't really recommend for you to use these sets for Hutao though. I think even though you cannot afford Crimson Witch yet, just get Shimenawa. It's even more comfortable than using that Hunter piece. It's harder and I don't think it's comfortable. And that's for the 4-piece. And how about the 2-piece? I think the 2-piece for this set is pretty just decent. I don't think any 2-piece in here combination can make any character looks very strong. But instead, I think it just become a good alternative, or either like temporary your artifact sets but still decent. So let's say you're kinda middle to do almost climb back to the end game, don't have so much artifact, and you want to utilize this kind of artifact. I think can sure, let's say kinda Ganyu, just because Ganyu can get like 15% of your charge attack, not bad, right? Although the 4-piece still better, right? It gives you 35%. But yeah, if you don't have so much choice, I think like 2-piece is still okay for temporary. And other character like Child, of course, this 4-piece is better, and also arguably the new set of this is better. But if you don't have the good artifact set, probably you have the good substat, or don't have so much choice, yeah, this can be a good like alternative. Also for Ningguang, same like that. I don't think it's even better, but it's just good for alternative also. And arguably also another Sino, Ito, Yoimiya also can for your alternative sets, something like that. But I don't think it will be better than Crimson Witch. So something like it kind of thing. It's just like decent for the like temporary or like middle to the end game that you have limited artifact set. I think this set is pretty okay for you to equip for certain of the character. And now let's move to the second artifact sets, which is Golden Troupe. Finally a name that I can pronounce. And let's start first with the one that can utilize the 4-piece or the full sets. But before I start, take notes. You read again what's the effect is that increase elemental skill by 25%, and additionally when not outfield it will increase by another 25% though. So I will talk this a couple of these characters that can utilize this when they become off-fielder. So I will not talk the scenario when they become on-fielder, because of course when you become on-fielder, this value of this artifact piece will come decrease. So I will just talking when they become off-fielder. The first candidate that can equip these artifact sets, which is Nahida. I think Golden Troupe is pretty good just because the 2-piece will increase Nahida elemental skill by 20%, and 4-piece it will increase further by 25%, and if Nahida not even in the off-field, her elemental skill will increase further by 25%, right? So that means Nahida can get up to 70% elemental in skill increase, right? If you use her as an off-fielder, that's actually pretty good though. And I think it's a good substitution for your debut memories or your gilded. I don't think it will become better just because like debut also pretty good, like 15%, and also like reduce the resistance by 20%. So I think it's just about the same. I don't think this Golden should become even better. It's just like a good substitution, unless probably you have a better superior substat. So I think if you kind of like same time farming another character, let's say in this Golden Troupe domain, and you have a very godly maybe a Golden Troupe also that you want to give your Nahida and it looks even better than your debut and your gilded, then sure you can actually equip this. Or alternatively, you already have someone that equipped debut in another party and you want to give this Golden Troupe to your Nahida, then yeah, sure, it can be a good substitution though, I think. So pretty much I think Nahida will have a better like flexibility and have like wide range of artifact sets selection though. So I think this is you can utilize if you want your Nahida as off-fielder though. So meaning the one that become driverless, make an Komi or maybe your Kuki Shinobu or something like that though. And the next character that potentially can utilize this, which is Albedo. Albedo can utilize this for the mainly if you want to make your Albedo as an off-fielder. So that means Albedo will rarely taking off-field, and probably you can expect that the burst become a little bit weaker. So yeah, but if you just like care about Albedo elemental skill itself, this is actually pretty good though as an off-fielder Albedo though. It's because you can get like 70% like at the maximum of your Albedo skill buff, right? But if you ask me, is it kinda become better? Then I don't think so. It's just like probably another, again, same like Nahida case. It's only about like around the same. It's kinda good like substitution or alternative. It's not meaning like to become better though. But yeah, it's pretty I think decent for Albedo also. So you have more selection, another artifact sets for your albedo though. And the third character that can utilize this, of course, as off-fielder, not the Hyper Bloom driver, which is Kuki Shinobu. I think Kuki Shinobu can equip this 4-piece set of Golden Troupe, just because we know that the main gimmick of her character itself from the elemental skill, and then if you utilize as off-fielder, can get the buff of increased elemental skill damage by 70% of her damage of her skill, which is pretty good though in off-field, right? But the thing is that I remember from Kuki Shinobu, her damage from the elemental skill is not that impressive though. As far as I know, Kuki impressive from elemental skill is just because her application of electro itself and also healing at the same time, and also when you stack with the elemental Meshi, her Dendro damage of Hyperloom become amazing with the, of course, the gimmick from the good application of the electro though. But for the raw power from the electro damage from the elemental skill itself, I don't think it's even impressive though. So buffing 70%, I don't think it's very kinda really impactful. So I think it's more into just like a good substitutes or decent alternative set that you can equip if you don't have any decent like kind of other artifact sets for your, let's say, Gilded or your Deepwood. But even though you say just for about support, I think if I want to make the support, I still prefer like Tenacity of Millelith, just because it increases HP, makes her healing better, because I feel Kuki Shinobu healing is not impressive. And also it can kind of increase attack for your members, right? And if I pair in the Alhitam team, I feel this is even better though for Alhitam team though, because it makes my item stronger though. But otherwise, I think Golden Troupe still a pretty much decent though. And the next character, which is Dehya. Dehya, you can utilize this 4-piece of Golden Troupe, and of course in here as a go all filler, that means you just double skill EE, and then you just swap to another character. Most of this situation that will work, which is kinda Ganyu Melt or kinda off filler in the Mono Pyro, something like that. And yeah, in here it can make Dehya damage at least become better. But I honestly, personally, with those kind of roles, usually Dehya will works better as a tank, right? And in tank, we kinda want her also HP with just like buffing everything on skill. I think it just puts too much in offensive and makes her job as a tanker become lesser. So because of that, I feel like kind of one balance. So I think it's better with Furuka's Glow, but that's my personal opinion. But if you just care about damage to increase the elemental skill while you want to make off-field Dehya, then sure. But for me, I kind of still prefer the Furuka's Glow. And I don't think this is even an upgrade for your overall Dehya itself though. So it's not, I also say buff, it's just also another alternative for Dehya sets. So Dehya still like the same Dehya to say. So yeah. And the next character, which is Yaemiko. Yaemiko is one of Canada that can equip this Golden Troupe. And of course, if you utilize as an off-fielder or quick swapper, then most of the case this Golden Troupe will become buff to your Yaemiko. And it's major win for Yaemiko main though, especially if you utilize, of course, as an off-fielder though. Whatever artifact sets that you put, either like the two-piece like this, or like 4-piece Gilded with like in USA aggregate teams, it still will become better though overall in general, just because the buff is just too good as an off-fielder. Like you get 70% increased elemental skill damage. That's just huge though for Yaemiko itself though. Take notes that Yaemiko cannot utilize this Golden Troupe 100% just because she still need a little bit on-field time to do the burst and EE again, right? So yeah, she cannot really utilize 100%. And also take notes that her elemental burst damage will decrease a little bit, just because like most of this Golden Troupe is only about elemental skill. There's none that indicate increase in the elemental burst. So of course you can expect your elemental burst will become decreased compared to this kind of set that both kind of buff your skill and burst. But don't worry though, although your elemental burst damage getting reduced, just because the elemental skill buff is just way too high, your reduction from elemental burst it's already compromised though from the huge buff from the elemental skill though. So because of that, the buff is actually around like 10 to 15% overall compared to the old artifacts. It actually depends on your rotation also, so 10 to 15%. So if you actually imagine if your burst damage still remained the same, it didn't get reduced, it actually can go up to 20%, just because like yeah, I also cannot utilize 100%, and also the damage from the burst get reduced, so it's kind of reduce a little bit the kind of value of this artifact. But overall still buff though, 10 to 15% is still pretty solid for Yaemiko. And lastly, the character that will give the highest buff from the Golden Troupe, which is Fischl, and even higher than Yaemiko, just because realistically that we know that Yaemiko still need longer time in term to deploy the turret like EEE, and you do the burst it's even longer than Fischl animation also. So because of that, Fischl have longer off-field time though, and she can utilize even better than Yai Miko in here though. Whatever artifacts that you already equipped, it's the Golden Troupe will still become better though as an off-fielder Fischl, and it will go. It's around 15 to 20% to Fischl, and it's even higher than from Yaimiko, of course. So that's why I have to say this is the best one to equip for Fischl. They literally buff Fischl, and Fischl is already good. They make it even better, and she is also free to play character, right? Like very easy to obtain. So they make even Fischl become crazier though, because the 4 piece is just massive. 70% as off fielder. God damn it, that's too high for Fischl. Other than that, you can utilize the 2 piece set that you can mix with another like piece. And the one I can utilize, let's say you kind of want Kokomi. Of course, it's not the best. I think Melee it's still best as a support, right? And or you want like as a deep with memories if you want in the Dendro Bloom, something like that, or like Mona you can utilize if you want the skill. But of course, the overall this set is still better in like general. But if you just care about the skill, then sure, why not? You want also another character like Hazo, also Yao Yao. If you just care about Yao Yao skill itself, like the healing, you don't want to use the burst, you just want to improve the kind of the elemental skill damage, then sure you can utilize this. So whatever character that you want to utilize the elemental skill though in general though, but most of the cases only become substitute or only your temporary artifacts if you're kind of still climbing from middle to end game though that have limited artifacts though. So yeah, it's pretty much I would say a general good artifact sets for a substitute. So yeah, in the end, how to say this artifact set domain later that we will put this one probably will become relatively a good also domain for you to farm though, arguably besides like the Deepwood and Gilded domain or like the Emblem or the Shimenawa one. I think this is also one of the candidate that's very good for you to farm for like middle even early player that still want to find a good artifact, just because in general these artifacts also pretty much good though. Like it's nothing like very super kind of impressive, but they can just work in general. Like the 2 piece of the Golden Troupe just increase elemental skill. It just can work like in general. And another like 2 piece from the Hunter that can increase normal charge attack. It's just good in general for a temporary something like that. So I think it's pretty much another good candidate for general set that for you too. And I feel like later when Fountain come, then we will have another domain then for you that I think is better, that good in terms of value for you to do the artifact set farming, which is of course the Emblem Sim now always worthful to farm, also the Gillet and Deepwood also good to farm, and I think now this is will be the new one, which is the Hunter and Golden Troops though. So yeah, pretty much that's it though. I think this artifact is pretty good in general. And yeah, is there any character that you're looking forward for to equip this a new set? And I believe this set will be, I think will be kind of most of majority artifact you will equip for the Fountain character, just how the same how the Deepwood and Gilded that majority we equip for our Sumeru character, right? So I think this is also will be future artifact sets for our Fountain character though. So yeah, excited, looking forward for 4.0. So if you like this kind of video, feel free to hit subscribe button and like, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.